Our next inversion is Scotch yoke mechanism. This inversion is used for converting rotary motion into a sliding or reciprocating motion. Here, link 1 is fixed. In this mechanism, when the link 2 rotates about the point O as its center, the link 4 reciprocates. The fixed link 1 guides the frame. Here we can see the fixed link is link number 1. The link 2 is the crank that is rotating about point A. Link 3 is the slider which is sliding in between the frame, and link 4 is reciprocating. The next inversion is Oldham coupling. This coupling is used for connecting two parallel shafts when distance between the shaft is small. The shafts are coupled in such a way that if one shaft rotates, the other shaft also rotates at the same speed. Here, the fixed link, that is frame, is the fixed link. Two discs are there, one left disc, one right disc. Those are connected to two shafts, that is the left disc is connected to the driving shaft and right disc is connected to the driven shaft. And in middle we have one center disc. The two shafts are link 1 and 2. Suppose the left disc is link number 1, the right disc is link number 2. The central disc is link number 4, and the fixed frame is link number 2. So link 2 is fixed. Link 1 and 3 means the left disc and the right disc forms turning pair with link number 2. Link 4 is closely fit into the slot in the two flanges, that is in link 1 and link 2, that is left and right discs. The link 4 can slide or reciprocate in the slot in the flanges. Our next mechanical actuator is gear. A gear is a wheel provided with teeth which mesh with the teeth on another wheel or on a rack. Gear is the most commonly used device for power transmission and motion transmission. Gear is also used to change the direction of motion. A number of devices such as differential transmission gear boxes, planetary drives, etc. used in many machineries use gear as a basic components. Rotary. Though in most of the machineries we are using gears as the mode of power transmission, but it has some advantages and also have some disadvantages. Some advantages of gears like high efficiency, long service life, high reliability, more compact, and can be operated in high speed. But some disadvantages are also there, like some special equivalent and tools are required to manufacture the gear. When one wheel damages, the whole setup is affected. And the next disadvantage is noisy operation, means gear have some noisy operations. The next important part is gear nomenclature, or also we can say gear terminology. Here we will see the parts of the gear. So first one we will discuss about the pitch circle. Here we can see the pitch circle. It is an imaginary circle which would transmit the same motion as the actual gear by pure rolling action. The diameter of the pitch circle is known as pitch circle diameter. Then addendum circle. A circle concentric with the pitch circle and bounding the outer end to the teeth is called an addendum circle. The diameter of addendum circle is known as addendum circle diameter. Then addendum. It is the radial distance between pitch circle and addendum circle. And here we can see the dedendum circle, that is also known as root circle. A circle concentric with the pitch circle and bounding the bottom of the tooth is known as dedendum circle or root circle. Then dedendum. It is the radial distance between the pitch circle and the dedendum circle. Then I will see clearance. When two gears are mating, then the gap between the addendum circle of one gear and dedendum circle of one gear is known as the clearance. Working depth. It is the sum of addenda of two mating gears. Circular thickness or thickness of tooth. The length of arc between the side of a gear tooth measured on the pitch circle is known as circular thickness or thickness of the tooth. Then we will see the tooth space or width of space. It is the width of the recess between two adjacent teeth measured along pitch circle. Then we will see the backlash. It is the difference between the tooth space and the tooth thickness. Then face. It is the action or working surface of the addendum. Here we can see the face part. Then flank. The working face of the addendum is called the flank. Top length. It is the surface of the top of the tooth. Here we can see the top portion is the top length. Then bottom length. It is the difference between the tooth space and the tooth thickness. Hole depth. It is the total depth of the tooth space equal to addendum plus dedendum. Then tooth fillet. It is the radius which connects the root circle to the tooth profile. Means this circular radius, the small radius what we can see here at the bottom of the tooth profile, that is known as fillet radius or tooth fillet. Then pitch circle. The distance measured along the pitch circle from a point on one tooth to the corresponding point on an adjacent tooth is called circular pitch, that is PC. PC is equal to pi d by t, where d is pitch diameter and t is number of teeth. Then pitch diameter. It is the diameter of pitch circle. It is represented by dp. Diametral pitch. Number of teeth on a wheel per unit of its pitch diameter is called diametral pitch. That is PD equal to T by D and PC into PD equal to pi. Then module. It is the reverse of the diametral pitch, means module M equal to D by T, where D is the diameter of the circle and T is the teeth, number of teeth. Next, Next we will discuss about the types of gear. spur gear, helical gear, bevel gear, ohm gear, rack and pinion gear. So first we will discuss about spur gear. A spur gear is a gear, wheel or pinion for transmitting motion between two parallel shafts. This is the simplest form of gear drive. The spur gear have axial teeth, with the teeth cut along axial line parallel to the axis of the shaft. Then helical gear. Helical gear has inclined teeth. This ensures smooth action and more accurate maintenance of velocity ratio. Then rack and pinion are used to transfer linear to rotary motion. Here we can see the rack and pinion, that is, rack is the linear part and the rack and the pinion is the rotational part, that is this gear. By this mechanism, this rack and pinion, the rotary motion is converted into linear motion. And here we can see the different types of gear. First one is the parallel gear axis, then second one is axis inclined to one another, and in third picture we can see the axial teeth on a gear, which is a spur gear. Then we can see the helical teeth on a gear. The first one is the single helical teeth and the second one is double helical teeth, what we can see in this diagram.